What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Xavier's Purpose. Today, I'm going to tell you about what I learned after reading through the entire book of Psalms. Now, unfortunately, I don't have my notes with me, so anything I miss, I'll definitely put it in the description. But one of the first things that really, I guess, that I realized about the book of Psalms after reading it was that, okay, maybe I didn't know this. Maybe I'm the only one to not have known this, but there was so much praise and just adoration for God in that book. Like it really took my how I activate praise and worship in my prayers, doing my praise and worship sessions. It made it feel different, right? Like instead of me just being, oh, thank you, God, thank you for this, thank you for that. It's what is God? Who is God? What is his nature? And kind of calling that out, right? Like telling God, you're an amazing God. You're an awesome God. You're good and just in everything that you do. You're a great judge. Like really telling God what he means to you, right? And it's funny because one that meme that's been going around on Instagram and whatever social medias is how David danced before the Lord. There's been a lot of TikToks and just reels about that, trying to make fun of it or whatever. But after reading through the book of Psalms, I really see kind of what that really meant. Like when you welcome God's presence and you see him working in your life, it makes you want to dance. Makes you want to jump for joy because he's so good. He's so good. Like even though we sin, even though we're sinners, even though we fall short of the glory of God every single day, God continues to come through for us every single time. Another thing I learned after reading through the book of Psalms was learning more about the actual authors, right? So, like I said, I don't have my notes in front of me right now, but there's Solomon got a couple of chapters in there, David, obviously. I think someone's name is like Asaph or something. There's like a group, right? And after doing my research, I found out that there were actually like basically like kind of like musical artists who actually wrote some of the Psalms in the book of Psalms. Um, so after realizing that, I was just like, well, first of all, I didn't know. I thought the entire thing was written by David from start to finish. But after reading through it, I realized that praise wasn't just David's doing. It wasn't just something that David was known for, right? Obviously, praise was taking place during, the time of Moses, time of Joshua, the time of David, the time of Solomon. And when you really dive into those verses and you dive into those different songs, it's amazing how even though there are different authors, it's like the concepts and the flows are still the same, right? What I would do to go back and listen to just like the original conceptions of those songs. So yeah, that was something else that I learned after reading through the book of Psalms is about learning about the actual different authors. Another thing I learned about the book of Psalms was during those stories, specifically where David was writing some of the songs, was that they were doing different times in his life, right? Some of them were when he was kind of like running away from Saul. Some of them after he sinned and he committed adultery. Some of them when he was being attacked. The kingdom of Jerusalem was being attacked. His kingdom was being attacked. After the family situation is what happened after he sinned, and it's just like realizing like this was something that was prevalent throughout his entire life, not just sat down and write down a book of Psalms, right, in a 2 year period, but from beginning to end, just about, right? And I feel like that was amazing because one is like it makes you really kind of picture the life of David. And it's a continuous praise, not just when things are good, not only when things are bad, but praise during the good, praise during the bad, praise just because. So yeah, that's what I learned after reading through the book of Psalms. I highly suggest you do it. How I did it was just taking an hour out of my day, specifically after going to the gym, reading through it, right? But not just reading through it, get a highlighter, right? Get a pen. If there's a word you don't understand, look it up and write down the definition of it, right? Analyze it. If you see a name that's not familiar, look them up. Really dive into the book of Psalms. Don't just read it. Don't just read to just read it to get it done, right? Get some depth, get some real knowledge and wisdom about what's behind the text. Get some historical context about it. Really dive into the Psalms and see how they can apply to your life, understand what they are in their historical context, and really take time to give praise to God on a daily basis. Thank you so much for watching the video. Feel free to like, subscribe, or share with a friend or family member you think will really need it. In the description, I have links to my blog as well as my other social media. Please give that a follow and have a blessed day.